What's going on YouTube? K93 here with a video tutorial for the Sonic Clip. And the Sonic Clip is a pretty easy trick to do, but for those of you who haven't learned it yet or find it difficult, you may want to take a look at this tutorial. And I think I have a few tricks that might help in terms of the flexibility. Now, the Sonic Clip, first of all, looks like this. And the trick is simple enough. It requires that you know how to do a Sonic, which is this, which I have a tutorial on. If you don't know that trick, go ahead and check out that tutorial. And it also requires that you need to know how to do a charge, which I also have a tutorial on. And in the tutorial that I taught a charge 2-3, which is this, which is pretty normal and pretty standard, but you need to know how to do a charge 1-3. And this essentially means you have to bend the middle finger down, and then you have to do a charge like this. And once you get this down and you know how to do a Sonic very well, it's just a matter of combining the two tricks together. Now, this is easy enough intuitively. Executing it is also fairly simple, but can be a little bit difficult, especially if you don't have incredibly flexible fingers. Now, if you don't have incredibly flexible fingers, go ahead and check out my video, Curing Flexibility Woes, and you should be able to find some exercises that can kind of loosen up your fingers so that you can do this trick a little bit easier. So I just wanted to say that the Sonic Clip 2-3-1, 2-3-1-2 is actually the harder of the Sonic Clips. You can also do a Sonic Clip like this, which is much easier in my opinion, because a lot of people can bend their ring fingers down easier than they can bend their middle fingers down, just because of the way the tendons and muscles on the back of your hand work. But I am showing this in 2-3-1-2 because that's kind of like the standard one you learn when you do learn this trick. Once you master it in from 2-3-1-2, it becomes incredibly easy from the 3-4 to 2-3 slot. So just to note that, it's best to learn the way I'm teaching you, 2-3-1-2. So what you basically do, the notation for the trick is essentially a Sonic interrupted by a charge. I think it's 0.5 or 1.0, I don't remember, followed by a, I guess, pass reverse or finishing off the Sonic. So it's a Sonic, and then right in the middle you do a charge. So you start off as you normally would with a Sonic. I recommend holding the pen kind of in the middle like this, and then when you do the Sonic, you want to stop right here. And that might be an exercise you want to try out just to kind of improve the strength of your fingers. It sounds a little bit weird, but we're used to doing the Sonic and completing it right away. We're not usually used to doing something right in the middle of the trick. So the best way I think to do this is to do the Sonic and just hold it like that. Let the pen wobble and just be able to hold it like this for a little bit. This will get your fingers used to the fact that, hey, I'm not going to be completing the whole Sonic trick right away, but I'm going to be doing something in the middle of it. So just start off as you would a normal Sonic 2-3-1-2. Do it, but instead, the part where you would normally clasp the pen, instead of doing the trick to completion, just stall right here. And now I know a lot of you guys who are more advanced at pen spinning, or those of you who have mastered the Sonic a long whiles back, you really know that you don't have to truly clip the pen in between. You just kind of go like that, and you don't really need to touch your ring finger and your pinky finger, your ring finger and your index finger to the pen at the same time while doing the Sonic. You just kind of know that you just apply the force with your middle and ring fingers, and then the pen will just eventually end up behind the middle finger, between the index and the middle finger. So you don't really need to have the pen touching both your index and your ring finger at the same time if you've mastered the song for a good while. Now, you're going to have to retrain your brain to think that way, because when I did teach this song, I did teach that you have to touch it like this and then complete the Sonic like that. But really, you have to actually touch your index and your ring finger to the pen for this trick to work, because obviously the pen needs some place to pivot and to spin between to do the charge that is the Sonic Clip. So you just have to retrain your brain. So again, I think the good exercise to learn is to do a normal Sonic, but hold the pen like this. And you don't want to hold it so stiffly that the pen stops. You kind of want to let it swing through in a kind of circular motion, because that's eventually what you're going to do. You're going to have enough momentum from the initial launch or initial push or release of the Sonic that you should be able to do at least half of a revolution of a charge within just by letting the momentum spin the pen like that. So again, it's a good practice is to just do a Sonic and then pinch it like that, just to get your mind used to the fact that, hey, I'm not going to be doing this Sonic to completion. I have to do something in the middle of it. And if you want to, you can just hold the pen like this and just hold it like that for a little bit. Because even though I have mastered this trick, even though I have been pen spinning for a good while, just doing this in this tutorial right now, I can feel a little bit of strain on my middle finger behind it. So this is just good practice for really anyone to just be able to do the Sonic and halfway through just kind of stop and stall it. Now the next part obviously is the charge part of the Sonic clip, where you actually do the charge part. Now there is no real, as far as I know, there's no real definition of how many charge revolutions you do for it to be considered a Sonic clip. I'm pretty sure as long as you do like one whole revolution, it counts, or maybe even half a revolution. No, it's not half a revolution. I think it's one whole revolution or more. You then consider it a Sonic clip. So it helps to just do that and then obviously spin so that you can get the pen in a good charge-like motion. And you want to practice that so that it's smooth, so that it looks round, it doesn't look quite flat. And then just keep doing that so that it doesn't slip farther down your fingers. You want to keep it at the tip, because at that point you do have slightly less control, but you get the roundest motion and the most control. Because if the pen slips down here, wiggling your fingers around just makes it do a seesaw motion. That's not what you're looking for. You're looking for a nice round looking trick. So if you keep it at the tips of your fingers, that will give you the roundest looking Sonic clip, the most visually appealing one. It'll get you some style points in your combo, potentially. So that's really all there is to it. It's not a really big trick. It's not one that's really hard to learn. I do strongly suggest if you have problems with the flexibility to just hold the pen like this and try to keep your middle finger touching your palm, or as close to touching your palm as possible, and then holding the pen just like this. If you want to, you can just hold the pen like this in your hand just to practice it. This trick is easier with pens with barrels of larger diameter. So if you have, let's say, a Buster, it is easier to do this trick, but I don't recommend you doing that. The Sonic clip is perfectly doable with a Victory, which has to be one of the smallest barrels that are in the pen spinning world, probably next to a ball sign mod. But those are the smallest ones, and you can still very well do this trick with a Victory with a ball sign mod. You can still do those tricks. It is a little bit more difficult because you have to stretch your fingers in a little bit more, which causes a little bit of tension behind your hand. But I would strongly suggest you using a smaller pen to begin with, because if you can do it with a smaller pen like a Victory, you can do it with something like a Kamsa. If you can do it with a Kamsa, you can do it with a Buster. But I do not suggest you run to a pen with a large barrel immediately, because then you'll be used to using that large barrel, that if you do have to use a smaller pen, then you might not be able to do it as well. So if you practice with a smaller pen barrel, it is more beneficial because you can just get used to it. Your fingers will stretch out just a little bit more, and even that little bit helps. So this is the Sonic clip, 2-3 to 1-2. Doing it with the 3-4 to 2-3 finger slot is exactly the same. I find it easier because a lot of people can bend and touch the ring fingers in to their palm much easier. So it is like that. The only difficulty you might have is because your pinky is significantly shorter than your ring finger, it might be a little bit awkward to hold the pen in the middle, but again, that comes with practice. You can just kind of hold the pen like that for practice if you want to. But you really shouldn't feel any of your tendons in the back of your hand being stretched out from this exercise. It is pretty easy, especially from the 3-4 to 2-3 finger slot. And then you can do the 2-3 to 1-2 finger slot as well. Fun fact, the trick Rising Fans comes from a palm down Sonic clip rise, I guess if you want to call it that. AKA, you do a Sonic clip 3-4 to 2-3, and from right there you immediately go into a Sonic clip 2-3 to 1-2. So that is a Rising Fans trick as far as I know. I'm not that good at it because I haven't practiced it, but if you did execute that trick very well, it looks pretty nice. And I guess that is technically what it looks like. Sorry, but I'm not really teaching that trick right now. But that's just a fun fact in case you want to learn that as well. So again, the Sonic clip is a pretty easy trick to learn. All you have to do is know how to do a Sonic very well, as well as a charge. specifically a charge 1-3. Then you just push or release the Sonic. Halfway through, you stall and then do a charge-like motion. And then, whenever you feel comfortable, just catch it like you would a normal Sonic or a normal charge. The ending is both the same in terms of the catch. So that is the Sonic clip tutorial for you guys. Thanks for watching. Hope this helped. Please feel free to rate, comment, and subscribe for more content in the future. And I'll see you guys in the next video tutorial.